Most people say, I don't have time. But let me tell you something honest, we all have the same 24 hours. The difference is not time, the difference is priority. Most of us wake up every morning already feeling late, already feeling tired, already feeling behind. The day hasn't even started, yet the mind is running faster than the clock. We say life is busy, but if we are honest, life is not busy, our mind is scattered. And when the mind is scattered, even 24 hours feel insufficient. Now think about this gently. You don't need to change your entire life in one dramatic decision. Life rarely transforms through grand resolutions. It transforms through small, repeated choices. One such choice is deciding to dedicate just 1 hour a day consciously, sincerely, and consistently. 1 hour may sound insignificant, but it isn't. In fact, it is powerful because it is realistic. Anyone can give 1 hour. The question is not whether we have time, the question is where our time leaks. We always find time for what matters to us. The phone never begs for attention, we offer it willingly. Notifications don't force us, we respond instantly. Imagine if we responded to our own growth with the same urgency. That 1 hour is not about pressure, it is about alignment. An hour where you are not trying to impress anyone. An hour where there is no comparison, no competition, no performance. Just progress, quiet progress. In that 1 hour, you can read something that expands your thinking instead of shrinking it. You can sit in silence and understand your own emotions instead of reacting to everyone else's. You can move your body with gratitude instead of treating it like a machine. Slowly, very slowly, you begin to notice a change, not outside, inside. The biggest changes always begin inside. When the mind becomes calmer, decisions become clearer. When decisions become clearer, actions become wiser. And when actions become wiser, life starts feeling lighter, even if circumstances remain the same. People often wait for the perfect mood, the perfect motivation, the perfect time. But growth doesn't wait for perfection. Growth respects consistency. Even on days when you don't feel inspired, showing up for that 1 hour sends a powerful message to yourself. I matter. And when you start valuing yourself, the world slowly reflects that back to you. 1 hour a day teaches patience. It teaches discipline. It teaches self-respect. You begin to understand that success is not about speed, it is about direction. A slow walk in the right direction is far better than a fast run in the wrong one. After some time, you will realize something beautiful. You will stop chasing balance, because balance will start coming naturally. Your relationships improve because you listen better. Your work improves because you focus better. Your peace improves because you think better, all because of one simple decision. So don't aim to change your life overnight. Aim to change 1 hour today, protect it, respect it, use it wisely, because when 1 hour changes, the day changes. When days change, habits change, and when habits change, life quietly transforms. We often believe that big transformations require big sacrifices, big risks, and big changes. That belief itself becomes the reason we stay stuck. Because when change looks too heavy, we postpone it. We tell ourselves someday, when things slow down. But life doesn't slow down. We must slow down within life. The truth is simple and gentle. Meaningful change does not begin with intensity. It begins with intention. 1 hour a day, used with awareness, has the power to realign a life that feels rushed, noisy, and directionless. Not because the hour is magical, but because your attention is. Look at how easily 1 hour disappears. A little scrolling, a little chatting, a little worrying, and suddenly the day is over. At night, when the phone is finally kept aside, a quiet question arises: what did I really do today? That question is not guilt, it is an invitation. An invitation to live more consciously. That 1 hour is not meant to add another task to your already long list. It is meant to remove the unnecessary. It is an hour where you stop reacting and start responding. where you stop running and start reflecting. When you do this daily, something shifts inside you. The mind becomes less cluttered, the heart becomes lighter. You begin to understand that success is not about doing more, but about doing what matters. A calm mind can achieve in 1 focused hour what an anxious mind cannot achieve in 10 distracted hours. This is why inner discipline always comes before outer achievement. Some days that hour will feel powerful. Some days it will feel ordinary, and some days it will feel difficult. But growth respects effort, not mood. Even when you sit with tiredness, confusion, or doubt, that hour is working silently, like water shaping stone slowly, patiently, without noise. Over time, you will notice that your reactions change. Things that once triggered you start losing their grip. You pause before you speak. You think before you act. This pause becomes your strength. In that pause, wisdom is born. People will ask you, what changed? You may not have a dramatic answer. You will simply say, I started giving myself time. That 1 hour becomes a mirror. It shows you your habits, your fears, your potential. And when you see yourself clearly, you naturally choose better, not out of pressure, but out of understanding. Life does not demand perfection from you. Life only asks for sincerity. When you sincerely invest 1 hour a day in learning, reflecting, or improving, life responds gently. Opportunities appear, confidence grows, peace deepens. So don't wait for the perfect schedule or perfect circumstances. They never arrive. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Start with 1 hour. Because when you choose yourself for 1 hour a day, you are not escaping life, you are finally learning how to live it. Many people believe that their life will change when their situation changes. When the job improves, when the income increases, when the right people enter their life, then they will feel peaceful, focused, and fulfilled. But life teaches us a quiet truth. Situations improve when we improve, not the other way around. This is where the power of 1 hour a day comes in, not as a technique, not as a shortcut, but as a commitment to yourself. A commitment that says, no matter how the day goes, I will show up for my own growth. That decision alone begins to shift something deep within. We underestimate 1 hour because we measure change in visible results. But inner work does not announce itself loudly, it works silently, just like roots growing underground before the tree becomes visible. No one claps for the roots, yet without them the tree cannot stand. That 1 hour becomes your root time. During that hour, you are not trying to fix the world. You are learning to understand yourself. You may read a few pages that challenge your thinking. You may sit quietly and observe your thoughts instead of getting lost in them. You may plan your day with clarity instead of rushing into it blindly. These may look like small actions, but they carry deep consequences. Slowly, your awareness increases, and with awareness comes choice. You realize that you don't have to react to every emotion. You don't have to attend every argument. You don't have to follow every impulse. This freedom is priceless. People often say, I don't have discipline. But discipline is not something you are born with. Discipline is built when you keep small promises to yourself. 1 hour a day is a small promise, but keeping it daily builds trust within. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. There will be days when that hour feels uncomfortable, when your mind resists silence. When excuses appear, when laziness speaks convincingly, those are not bad days, those are training days. Each time you sit despite resistance, you strengthen your inner muscle. Over time, the noise inside reduces. You stop seeking validation as desperately. You stop comparing your journey with others. You understand that everyone is running their own race at their own pace. What changes most is not your schedule, but your state of mind. You become calmer in chaos, clearer in confusion, stronger in uncertainty, and this inner stability reflects outward. Your work improves, your relationships soften, your decisions become more thoughtful. One day you may look back and realize that nothing dramatic happened. No sudden miracle, no overnight success. Just a series of quiet hours faithfully invested, and those hours changed everything. So don't aim for a perfect life. Aim for a daily practice. Protect that 1 hour as if it matters, because it does. When you change how you spend 1 hour, you change how you experience the day. When days change, life follows, not loudly, not instantly, but beautifully. We often look for change in dramatic places, new environments, new people, new opportunities. We believe that a shift outside will automatically create peace inside. But after some time, we realize that even when surroundings change, the mind carries the same restlessness. This is because real change does not begin outside. It begins with how we spend our attention. 1 hour a day, when lived with awareness, becomes a gentle turning point. Not because it solves every problem, but because it teaches you how to relate to problems differently. That hour becomes a space where life slows down just enough for you to breathe, observe, and understand. Most of us live on autopilot. We wake up, react, rush, repeat. Days pass, weeks pass, and suddenly years pass. Not because life moved fast, but because we were never fully present. One conscious hour breaks this pattern. It reminds you that life is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. In that 1 hour, you are not escaping responsibilities. You are learning how to handle them better. You may sit quietly and notice how many thoughts demand your attention. You may realize how often the mind worries about the future or replays the past. This awareness itself is healing. When you see clearly, you naturally simplify. Gradually, you stop measuring your worth by productivity alone. You understand that doing more does not always mean living better. Sometimes, doing less with clarity creates far better results. A settled mind brings quality to every action. That 1 hour also teaches humility. You begin to accept that you don't need to have all the answers today. You don't need to control everything. Life becomes less of a battle and more of a journey. And when struggle reduces, joy finds space. There will be moments when you feel nothing is changing, but change is not always felt. It is often realized later, like when you respond calmly in a situation where you once reacted. Like when you listen patiently instead of interrupting. Like when you choose rest over unnecessary stress. These are signs of deep growth. 1 hour a day builds inner order, and when there is order inside, chaos outside feels manageable. You stop blaming circumstances and start taking responsibility for your inner state. This responsibility is not heavy, it is freeing. People around you may notice that you seem calmer, more grounded. They may ask what you are doing differently. You won't have a complicated answer. You will simply know that you started giving yourself space to grow. Life does not demand constant intensity. It values sincerity. When you sincerely invest 1 hour daily in reflection, learning, or self-care, life responds in subtle ways. Confidence grows quietly. Peace deepens naturally. So don't wait for life to become perfect before you begin. Begin now with 1 hour. Sit with yourself, listen, learn, grow. Because when you change how you live 1 hour, you slowly change how you live your life. Not through force, but through understanding. We often imagine that transformation arrives with a loud announcement, a sudden breakthrough, or a dramatic turning point. But real transformation is far more humble. It arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, through the way we live our ordinary moments. This is why 1 hour a day, when lived with intention, can slowly change the direction of an entire life. Most days we are busy but not fulfilled, active but not aligned. We move from one task to another, yet feel an emptiness we cannot explain. This happens because we are constantly giving time to the world, but rarely giving time to ourselves. One conscious hour reverses this imbalance. It becomes a daily reminder that your inner world deserves attention too. That hour is not about perfection or pressure. It is about honesty. Sitting with yourself and noticing where your energy goes, where your thoughts wander, and where your heart feels heavy. Awareness is powerful because it brings clarity, and clarity naturally leads to better choices. When you start honoring 1 hour a day, discipline begins to grow without force. You stop depending on motivation, because motivation changes with mood. Discipline grows when you act, even when the mind resists. This quiet discipline strengthens self-respect. You begin to trust yourself more because you are keeping a promise you made to yourself. Slowly, the mind becomes less noisy. You realize that many of your worries were never real problems, just unexamined thoughts. As the mind settles, patience increases, you listen more deeply, you react less impulsively, life starts to feel less heavy even though challenges remain. 1 hour a day also reshapes your relationship with time. You stop feeling constantly rushed. You begin to understand that being busy is not the same as being meaningful. With a calmer mind, even small actions become impactful. Your work gains quality. Your relationships gain warmth. Your decisions gain wisdom. Some days that hour will feel deeply fulfilling. Other days it will feel slow or uncomfortable. But growth does not require comfort. It requires presence. Even when you feel distracted, simply returning your attention again and again is part of the practice. Nothing is wasted. Over time, you may notice subtle changes. You feel steadier during uncertainty. You recover faster from setbacks. You stop seeking constant validation. You feel content even when things are incomplete. This is inner strength, not loud, but reliable. Life does not ask you to transform overnight. It only asks you to show up daily. 1 hour is enough to begin, enough to reflect, enough to learn, enough to grow. So don't wait for the right mood, the right moment, or the right situation. Begin where you are. Begin with 1 hour, because when you take care of 1 hour with awareness, life starts taking care of the rest quietly, steadily, beautifully. And remember, great lives are not built in one day. They are built one focused hour at a time.